Howdy, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. I know I'm coming to you on Friday the 13th in the busiest race to the finishes ever. But the fact is that this holiday is in your florist hands. As a mass market leader, with all of my experience, the 13th and 14th, all you're doing is walking and visiting stores and you're observing how they're going after the holiday. But there's really nothing you can do but just give them hugs and say thank you, talk to store leaders and thank them. So it's in their hands. Now what? That's what we're going to talk about today. And again, I want to remind you, I'm coming to you as a correspondent for the Bloom Show for New Bloom Solutions. You can also always find me on rockingbarzy.com. If you like this, please subscribe to it, but please share this. If you find this relevant, share it. And by the way, I'll have a blog post coming out on New Bloom Solutions next week. You'll see it on LinkedIn. Where I will go into more detail about what I'm going to share with you today. But let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about the most important customer today and tomorrow, especially February 14th. Now, I know Galentine's is growing, other giftable options, Palentine's I've heard this year, but in the end, there's one customer that will make or break your holiday. That's a guy. It's a guy typically who's buying flowers for a woman for Valentine's Day. He's looking to spend enough. He doesn't know, he's not confident, doesn't know what to spend, doesn't know what to buy. Most often he's going to buy a vase arrangement with at least a dozen roses in it. On average, he's going to spend $45, but if he picks up that vase arrangement, but he can be led to spend a lot more if he has the confidence in what he's buying. So that's what this is about. We got to take care of that customer and give him what he wants on that day. So let's talk about that store visit. Tomorrow, you're going to be out visiting stores. Leaders of Floral, you're going to be walking your stores. Growers, you're going to be in the major markets of the customers probably that you're selling, visiting stores. And let's talk about the three stores you're likely going to see. You're going to walk in, mid-morning tomorrow, and you're going to see the winner. You're going to walk into three big displays, all three of vase arrangements. The first one you walk up to is the highest price. It's probably $89.99. If it's a high-end store, it might be $125 or more. A big display of gorgeous vase arrangements right there in front. The next display is that mid-price point, $69.99, maybe $59.99, depending on the customer. Again, full, well-stocked, beautiful. Every vase arrangement beautiful. That entire display signed at one price point. And then the next display is the good display. That's that standard dozen rows arranged with filler at $45, right? And then you'll see everything else further back as you go into the floral department. You see your florist and she's confident and she's smiling and she say, hey, look at this. Isn't this great? You see men walking up, looking at the three displays and grabbing those flowers and walking to the register, maybe grabbing some balloons and grabbing some plush. And you also see that there are store associates, not floral partners, but store associates that are restocking. They have special carts set up and they have vase arrangements ready at each price point. And as a customer is picking up, they're refilling. And she then takes you to the back room into her refrigerated storage area where she has plenty of vase arrangements created at those three price points. She's going to stay full all day long. Right after lunch rush, that shop is still going to look full and beautiful for the men who come in after that. At 5 o'clock at that rush, the pre-date night rush, she's still going to have excellent product. And her hope is to have a couple left at each price point. So she knows that every guy that walked in got what he was looking for and what she wanted to sell him, a beautiful vase arrangement at a higher price point. You thank her. She's your rock star. You know this is your number one store. You walk out, you go to the next store. The next store, it's in the lunch rush. And it's a mixed message store. There's one big display, and everything is on that big old display. I call it the Paquito de Todo display. It's got a little bit of everything. There's a $80 vase arrangement besides a $30 vase arrangement. Right there is also a couple of buckets of consumer bunch roses. There's some upgraded plants, potted plants. There's balloons hanging above. This mishmash of product, you see men walking around it confused, and they might pick something up and put it down and pick something else up. You might see them just grab the first vase arrangement and go, and they picked up that $39.99 basic dozen rose arrangement. They did not get the $70 vase arrangement they would have bought. And everything is out in this shop. The store leader's there, and they're just consolidating. And he's like, it's all out here. We're going to have great sell-through. They'll have great sell-through. That's what they're worried about, right? You thank them. All you can do, it's in their hands. All you can do is thank them and hug them and say, thank you. Then you go to the next store, and this is the store that's the missed opportunity. You walk in, and it's after lunch, and that store is hammered. Man, I mean, you just walk in, and there's potted plants around, but every display is shopped. There's hardly any vase arrangements in the shop, but there are a lot of displays of retail-ready bouquets, dozen rose bouquets, that type of retail-ready product. And you see a line of men, 6, 7, 8 deep. There's 2 lines, actually, and they're waiting at the counter, and the 2 best designers in the store, the floral manager and her top designer, are behind that counter, and they're making vase arrangements as fast as they could. And those men are standing there holding consumer bunches and dozen roses, waiting to get to that designer to make their flowers. Meanwhile, you see men walk in, they look at that line, they shake their head, and they just grab a bouquet and go to the front. They're going to spend $19.99 instead of waiting to get that vase arrangement they wanted. You see other men come in, shake their head, and walk right out. Those customers are not going to be back next holiday. Again, all you can do, and then you see the store leader, and he's dragging a pallet with a pallet jack from the back of boxes of flowers that you shipped them, right, in buckets of water, and he sees you, and he smiles a little shakily. He walks up, he says, "Hey, man, we're doing all we can. We got hit hard. Man, we got hit hard, but we're doing all we can. I'm helping her put out these flowers. By the way, I'm a little worried. I got 2 more pallets in the back. Do you know anybody that might be looking for flowers? I mean, we had a great plan. She always has a good plan, and I think we're going to be up against last year, but we may have a little extra product if you need it." Again, all you can do is shake his hand and say, "I appreciate your hard work," and then go back to her and quickly give her a hug and say, "I'm going to let you get back to it, but thank you for your hard work." And by the way, the store leader may say, she always says that her customers really want only the custom vase arrangement she makes. They want to stand in line so that she will make them something exactly what they want. And by the way, that is not true. Yeah, there are a few customers like that, but the average man wants to walk in, see the 3 options, get the one that he thinks is right, that will help him win, and get the heck out. So how do you, as you see these, and you can't do anything, all you can do is hug and thank them. But as you go into next week, what can you do to affect change, to drive your business forward for this most important item, most important customer? The most important metric you have is vase arrangement sales as a percent to total floral sales for February 14th. Run that data. Most of you have all your vase arrangements in one category. If you don't, grab them into a subcategory, but you need to look at what's the total sales by store of vase arrangements as a percent of total store. And it's going to pop out at you. You're going to see natural groupings. There's 3 or 4 stores that are over 50% of their sales come from those vase arrangements. And you're going to see the AIP is much higher than everybody else's. And you're going to recognize those stores. That's that winter store you walked into that had a plan that never ran out and had great merchandising at 3 price points that made it easy for him to know what to buy. You're going to see another grouping at 40 to 50%, and they have good results. They also have great gross margin, great sales growth, record sales, but they're not quite as profitable as the higher group, and their AIP is lower. Then you're going to see a group of stores below 30% in vase arrangement sales, and these are going to be your problem children, and you're going to know it. You're going to recognize them. That's that missed opportunity store that you walked into. Their sales are flat or maybe slightly up against last year, well below your total growth trend. They have much higher shrink, and their gross margin is much lower than everybody else. Remember, the penny profit on a $70 or $80 vase arrangement is going to drive your business compared to the penny profit of a $19.99 retail-ready bouquet. So what do you do with that data now that you've got it? Now is the time. We begin planning for Mother's Day, and things are a little different for that. Reach out. I can talk to you about that. But for next Valentine's Day, here's what you got to do. You got to set a goal for the company. This is the sales mix we expect to have from custom vase arrangements or retail-ready vase arrangements. You need to then walk with your florist how they project their sales, because typically they think about buying in terms of, I'm going to buy 5% over last year. You got to help them think about, what does that mean then? How many vase arrangements at the 3 price points that make best sense for you, how many must you make? And what must you order in order to then drive those sales? Then you need to let your winners coach. Have those best stores coach the others and tell them how much easier it is to manage your shop when you plan, buy, and merchandise that way. Support with real tools, production planners, visual training aids for what you're focusing on. And by the way, all this supports e-commerce, because when you have 3 price points that you know what they are and the recipe that goes into them, those apps can go on e-commerce. That is how you go about it. Growers, suppliers, this is for you too. Whenever you go to talk to that customer about next year, don't just bring them your bouquet for Valentine's Day or a couple of different bouquet options. You need to bring them good, better, best. Work with the hard goods suppliers that you know that retail customer uses, and pair your bouquet as a chop and drop directly in a vase at that good price point, maybe a bigger vase and you double it for that next price point, or maybe that's the highest one, and in the middle, maybe you add some more a consider a bunch of filler flowers or a dozen roses, all of which you're selling them, right? Your goal is their goal. Help them make this shift so they take care of the most important customer with what they want and drive sales and profits for their business. This can be a transformational thing for your business. Trust me, I've been there and done that. Need help? You want to talk about the details of how you make this happen? I'm your guy, rockingbarz.com. Find me on LinkedIn. If you really like this, please, again, like, subscribe, and please share this. Growers, share it with your retail customers. Retailers, share this with the growers that you really want to work with on this. Give this some thought. Again, I have a blog post coming next week that will tell you much more detail. But in the end, I can really give you the details, support, and help if you want it. That's Joe Don Zetzsche, Rocking Bar Z for the Bloom Show. Thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful Valentine's holiday. I hope it's smooth and record-breaking, and I hope you get some rest next week. And I will see you on my blog post. I will see you on LinkedIn. I will see you March 2nd at Zahid's amazing event, and I will continue to be ready to talk to you about these lessons. So with that, I say happy Valentine's Day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.